Hey y'all, welcome back to Bridge Troll Garage. Today we are going to try and solve a brake issue on our 2005 Kawasaki Vulcan 1500 Fi. Yeah, I know it's a mouthful, isn't it? Anyway, so I was fixing to leave, I did leave for work the other day, and I got about 2 or 3 miles down the road, and the rear brakes locked up, like tighter than a tick's ass, locked up. I was able to kind of nurse it home. Luckily, I did not burn the clutch up in the process. So I'm going to show you guys a trick to possibly fix the problem before you go out and spend a couple $100 or whatever on a brake caliper. And yes, this will work on any disc brakes. It's not specific to a motorcycle or a car or one way or the other. Anyway, let's get into it. Alright, so we're back. I've already got the caliper off. One thing that I did want to show y'all was the caliper was pretty well stuck on there. The brakes could stand to be replaced, so that's probably what I'm going to do before I put the bike back together again. Normally I would just run it, but this isn't a 90s Ford pickup. This is a motorcycle, and you have brake failure on a motorcycle. It's a little more detrimental to you specifically than brake failure in a car, but it makes good sense to me to go ahead and put a new pair of brakes on it. So what I wanted to do was I wanted to show you guys both of these pistons are, I'd say 3/4, maybe half, I don't want to exaggerate, extended out of the body of the caliper right here, because each one of these little cylindrical pieces on the caliper, there's a piston in there, a metal piston. What it does is it pushes out, and it basically pushes your brake pads together that clamp over top of your brake rotor right here. So basically what I did to get this off, since it was kind of stuck, was I pulled the bolts out of it, obviously, and I took my $7 rubber mallet. I don't remember exactly where I got this. Knowing me, it was probably like Harbor Freight or something along those lines. But I'm still going to show y'all the trick that I was going to do, but like I said, I'm going to go ahead and buy some brake pads for this, for when I put it back together again. I'm not going to try and put it back together and ride it the way it is right now, because that's just not safe. Okay, so what I was talking about this obviously goes right here like this, and what I do when they're stuck like that or whatever, because if you have one that's working properly, I mean, even on full-size vehicles like my Jeep and my my K10 over there, I can usually push on it just enough for it to slide off. No He-Man stuff, just enough for it to slide off. But if you do have to tap on one, usually what I do is I get right behind where the piston is on this one. Since it's a dual piston, I'd just 1, 2, 1, 2. I'd hit them in sequence. That way I wasn't just banging on one. And this is one of those sand-filled dead blow mallets. They're a good tool to always have in your toolbox. They're not actually good for like driving nails or something like that, but for something like this, as far as I'm concerned, they're invaluable. Anyway, I'm going to get to the next step, and I'll see you guys then. Alright, so I pumped the piston out. This one, I actually pumped it out a little bit too far. I'm going to have to kind of fight that to get it to go back in. I just wasn't paying attention. Let me see if I can fix that. I wasn't paying attention when I was pushing this one in, and it pushed that one out. Oh well, sue me. It's my bike. If I want to screw it up, it's mine. So all I do with these to try and revitalize them a little bit is, if you get this piston out of here and you kind of run your finger up and down it, and it's all gunky and grimy and full of brake dust and whatnot, then what you can do is you can pull it out like this here. Now, of course, you don't want to pull it out as far as I did if you can avoid it. I mean, it's not bad. It's just you're going to have to fight it trying to get it to go back in. There's a little rubber seal down here that you're going to have to try and not screw up. And it just, trust me, if you can avoid it, do. But basically what you do is you just take your favorite brand of brake clean and you spray it down a little bit. And then you get your favorite cheapy, I'm using a wire brush only because I couldn't find the bristly brush that came in this set. And then you just, don't go ape shit on it. Just get all the crap off of it, Scrapey a little bit, brushy. And then, when you're done, spray it with a little bit more of your favorite brake clean, just give it a little dab. And then when you're done doing that, you can collapse them both back into the housing. What I like to do is I like to take a little bit of lithium grease or PB blaster and just spray this area here to make sure that I've got everything, nice and lubricated and everything's working. Because, the name of the game here, guys, is don't spend I think the cheapest one I found was on eBay and it was like $130, and that was a used one. I mean, I'm probably going to have the same issue with it that I'm having with this one. So anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm going to, get all this done. I'm going to put it back together again. And then I'll do some final thoughts maybe. And I'll see y'all in a minute. Alright guys, so we're still working on the 05 Kawasaki. What I thought was going to be a simple procedure that I was going to share with y'all turned into me starting working on it probably at about 1 a.m. last night, and me fooling with it till about 5 a.m. because I couldn't get the brakes to bleed. And I ended up pulling the entire rear brake system, hose and all, out of the bike, and I figured I'd blow it out with air and use a tip cleaner to clean out all of the little ports. And when I got it apart and started blowing it out with air, I realized my noob mistake. I forgot to check to see if there was a rubber boot in the master cylinder. And what had happened was this rubber boot was all the way blown out, so it was taking up all of the space in the master cylinder. And what I was doing was I was filling this with brake fluid, and the brake fluid was not able to get to the hole to be pressurized through the system. So I ended up making a 20-minute job, an all-nighter, and then into the next day. So, it is what it is. We got it figured out. I've got it about halfway put back together. I've got the line run. I've got everything in its respectable place. I've just got to finish bolting everything back together again and bleed the brakes, which hopefully will go pretty easily now that we figured out you have to take the little boot out before you put brake fluid in it. Alright, I'll hit you all back up when I get her back together again. Hey guys, so we got the brakes back together again, and the brakes are working properly, which is good. However, I had the bright idea to take it to the car wash and give it a bath, and now it won't start. So something got wet that wasn't supposed to get wet. Probably not that big of a deal, but the battery died. I had to walk home, get the Jeep and trailer, go back, load it up. My trusty sidekick, Walter dog. Say hi, Walter. Hi, Walter. We got it on the trailer, got it ratcheted down, and we got it home and in the garage and on the battery charger. Anyway, if you guys enjoyed this video, please don't forget to like and subscribe and ring that bell notification. I greatly appreciate it. And we'll see y'all next time on Bridge Trolls Garage.